we have a story from Kurt. Kurt has
We got
proposed
a
a story.
story for you.
Yeah. So,
Curtis Cast.
so I was thinking about recent events, and look, we've all now lived through the COVID thing, right?
Most
However,
of
fair enough. But however, in the past, there have been other kind of pandemic-y type things that people freaked out about and didn't turn out to be as bad. And so, like when I was younger, I guess probably when I was a kid, in the late 70s, early 80s, there was the swine flu, and that was a big deal back then. And it did put a lot of older people in the hospital.
See, that's H4N.
H4N1 was the bird flu.
Is that the avian flu?
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
My mom got that back in like 2009-ish. So Kurt, what's the biggest difference then between the swine flu and the bird flu?
Well, one requires treatment. One requires treatment, and the other requires ointment.
Oh my god! You guys don't understand. I am less than 100 yards away from the bar. I will just leave the show and go get some scotch for my Scotchketeers that are out there to tolerate your BS that you are feeding me. How is that a story? That is not a story. That is a
no. So the story is that it is a long premise to get in another bad joke. So what would you do for a Klondike bar? All of that being said, the one kind of those kinds of illnesses, they were a big deal back then. But I think about now. Joe and I were talking before the show started about things like chickenpox, right? Chickenpox. My kids went through. Did your kids go through that, Charles?
We had the shots by the time I had kids.
Yeah. So
I went through it though.
I went through it too. Yeah, and I think my kids didn't. I know my kids went through it, but I think that they are probably like one of the last generations to get it. Like unless you're not vaccinated for it, but we have a way to get around that now. And what was really weird for us is my son got it when he was like 1.5. Really young, really young.
Yeah.
Now, the advantage was it was done. Like
one and done typically.
However, my wife had never had it before.
Oh no.
So she got it as an adult at the same time that my son.
See, an adult turns into shingles a lot of times.
Yeah, except she never had chickenpox at all.
Right, and that's usually how you get this.
Right. So she survived that, and it was terrible for an adult. So
let me clarify that. Did she get like the chickenpox where she was itchy all over, or did she get the adult version that was shingles where it's super painful?
No, it was like all the pock marks and itchy all over.
Okay, from what I understand, shingles is like 10 times worse.
It is, and like my grandmother went blind in one eye because of shingles. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
So the weird part was when my daughter got chickenpox, and my daughter is 4 years younger than my son. She got it at about 3 or 4 years old, still a little young, but kind of normal. My son got it again.
Wow.
And got it as shingles, is what the doctor said, because he had it so young. If you have it that young, you're more susceptible to getting it again.
Oh,
that sucks.
Yeah.
I guess if you're that young, you don't build up sufficient antibodies or something.
I guess, or there's enough there to kind of trigger it again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the good news is he didn't remember having it the first time.
Right. Yeah. So, and I had it when I was a kid, and I was definitely of the generation where, hey, Kurt's got chickenpox. You guys want to come over?
Yeah, chickenpox parties because you want all your kids to get it and then be done
get
with
it over with. Yeah.
the story my mom tells from when I had it was one of the random times they had some package delivered or something. I was 5 years old, apparently, when I got it around then. And her solution was to let me just run around the house naked. And so somebody delivered a package to the door, and I just whipped the door open, butt naked 5-year-old. And she was, of course, horrified. But and as she told me as we're growing up, and she's telling me about it, she's like, all they do is bathe me. And they let me hang out in the bathtub for hours because that helped. And then calamine lotion, and then just run around naked. And I was 5. I don't remember any of it.
Me neither, which I'm happy for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, you're talking about your wife got it when she had a broken arm, which is double whammy.
Yeah. She crashed her bike, broke her arm, and then got chickenpox from someone at the emergency room. So she's young, she's got a cast, and I might be mixing up stories because I think she broke her arm twice. So it might have not been the bike accident, but regardless, when they took her cast off, they found all kinds of stuff in there that she had shoved down trying to scratch and relieve that itch. And so her cast was just full of junk.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that they can't come up with better medical science than freeze-dried fiberglass for your freaking arm or leg or broken bone. It's so dumb.
Well, so my brother, he has a removable cast basically for his ankle because his cartilage is basically all gone. And he's
splint.
Well, so apparently they did the normal cast and then they cut it and
they put a zipper on it.
Well, kind of. It's one that he belts on, it straps on. And so it is like the fiberglass cast, but it's been cut and he belts it on because normally they would do surgery on what he's got, but he's way heavier than even I am, and I'm a heavy guy. And so they're like, no, unless you lose weight, there's no point. So so they just have him, he's in a cast almost all the time except like when he's sleeping. So
I broke my arm 3 times as a kid and had a cast on 2 of them because the other one was my upper shoulder and they really couldn't put a cast on that. They just gave me a sling for the summer. But I never had the fiberglass. I only had the plaster, which I don't know if it's any better, but I still had stuff in the cast because it got itchy.
Yep. Yeah. I don't even. I broke my arm once when I was a toddler, but I don't remember it. Apparently, my parents were moving furniture, and I crawled right underneath it, and they set the furniture down, and there was my arm. But yeah, that's the only time it's not the only time I've broken a bone, but it's the only time I've gone to the doctor for a broken bone. All the rest were relatively minor. Like I broke my finger, but I thought it was just jammed, one of the knuckles. But now one of my middle fingers, the top knuckle, is disfigured because it was broken and I never got treatment.
Yeah, it's disfigured because you keep using it too much.
Yeah.
Bing!
Bing, 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 bing. Snicked.
I've got some sign language for you.